Hey guys, quick one today. Just wanted to check in to get some help from you guys, some feedback. I am currently working on a comprehensive as possible online class that addresses mental blocks, resistance that stems from our minds, our psychologies, however you want to label things. I'm getting a little bit tired of labels because it tends to restrict a lot. But the intention for this course is to help you guys get past, maneuver around those mental blocks, the self-sabotage, the things that tend to happen in the form of thought patterns, images that might be thrown up in our minds, memories that might come up, whatever it is, however we might define it. We might even define it as trauma or some historical event, some memory from our pasts that we are associating with our stuckness today. What my question for you is, I need as much help as I can get to get a sense of, and I've already spoken to hundreds of people in this sense, and so I do have already a very pretty thorough understanding of the human condition, and I know myself very well, and I know how I have spent the last decade plus navigating through my own blocks, my own resistance, my own self-sabotage. And so I have a lot of information already, and that's why I'm doing this course, because I know how much help I can provide for other people who might also be facing similar issues but aren't quite ready yet for full-blown coaching. There's a nice intermediary step that you guys can take and just run through the ideas in my class. So without blabbering anymore, where do you guys notice that you self-sabotage? Where do you find yourselves coming up against what feels like a kind of invisible wall, perhaps created in your mind, but it still feels nonetheless very real? Maybe it comes up in the form of anxiety or avoidance or procrastination or literal sabotage, where you allow yourself to make mistake after mistake, and it's not the fruitful kind that you learn from, it's the kind that you kind of almost purposefully put in your way so that you don't get from A to B. And this is what I see a lot, is somebody has an intention. You might have a goal, or you might have a dream, or you might want to get somewhere in your life, or you might want to see a change in your life, but something always kind of comes up, something's always in the way, there's always some invisible force that holds you back. For me, for most of my life, it's been around the sense of fear of judgment from other people. That has been extremely powerful, a powerful illusionary force in my life. Of course, it's not real, but the block came from thinking that other people had the power to diminish my self-worth, and if I was going to expose myself to that, I took less action. And so in that sense, that was my self-sabotage that came from the mental block that other people found me strange, other people found me weird, and it was, thus figured in my own mentality that the best course of action was to avoid people entirely, which I've now since disproven, and I've found freedom in realizing that that's not the case. It was just a mental block. So where in your lives are you seeing resistance, particularly repeated resistance? It could be in work, it could be in relationships, it could be in general everyday life. Maybe you continually find yourself procrastinating on something. Maybe you have a dream or a goal that has now been quashed because you have kind of given up on it. Where do you most find yourself? Maybe it's one or two things. Where do you most find yourself being held up, being stuck? And I'm particularly interested in those things that look like psychological blocks, thinking related blocks. And it's one of those frustrating things. We can have everything in order in our lives, but we might have various mental blocks that get in the way. So this is what I'm going to make sure I address, and I make sure I do it well. I want this course to genuinely lead to clarity and freedom in your lives. And I'm excited about this because I've seen the change in my own clients. Just recently I had a guy who I'm working with who runs his own web business, who had spent years of his life sort of just hours and hours of every day ruminating, worrying about what other people thought of his performance in the office as a boss, and it sort of flooded into other areas of life. He basically spent a lot of time worrying, and it held him back, and it lowered his performance significantly. And he recently wrote me a message saying that he has barely worried in the last few weeks. He can't even remember really having any serious worries for a very long time. And that's through our discussions that we've been having. That's through the limiting belief discussions that we've had. This has come out of an understanding of the mind that I will go through in my coaching, but I'll also go through in this course. And by doing that, you are relieving yourself of these unhelpful blocks. So once again, where do you guys get hung up in life? Where do you find yourself getting mental blocks? Do you self-sabotage over and over again? Maybe it manifests as a habit, as something like drinking or whatever it is. Maybe you can go deeper than that. What is causing the drinking? What is the thought? What is the mentality behind it? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Do feel free to contribute if you have been a lurker and it hasn't ever really made sense for you to contribute to this channel. Now is your chance to be seen and be heard, and to help the development of this, and help me give you better content around realizing our true potential. I know that sounds cheesy, but that's really what it's all about. A lot of us we don't need fixing. None of us need fixing. None of us need something in ourselves sorted out. That's an illusion in itself. We all have the capacity for optimized, free, creative, fluid, high performance, happiness, joy. It's just that we tend to block it off. So tell me a little bit more about your blocks. It's much appreciated. Make sure you like, subscribe, and any other feedback and comments are very welcome. Thank you, guys.